In Korea, the web novel 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse was once extremely popular, but after 10 years and over 1,000 chapters, only one reader remains, Duja. He began reading it in middle school and still reads it as an adult. The story follows young Hook, who battles hardships sent by the gods as the world collapses. His companions fall one by one, but he is always determined to grow stronger. Duja found inspiration in young Hook, and rereading the novel helped him endure bullying through high school. After graduation, Duja attended a mediocre college, worked some mediocre jobs, and landed a temporary contract at a big company. The day his contract ends, so does the novel. Disappointed that young Hook is the lone survivor, Duja messages the author calling the stories ending the worst. On the train, Duja runs into his co-worker Sa, whose contract also ended. Their chat is interrupted by their persistent former boss, who leaves at the next stop. Duja is then shocked to receive a reply from the author, thanking him as the only reason the story finished and challenging him to write his own ending when the service starts at 7 p.m. Suddenly, the train shakes and stops. A voice announces that the planetary system 8612's free service has ended. Paid content begins. Checking his phone, Duja sees it is exactly 7 p.m., the same as the novel's start. A creature from Korean folklore, a decab, appears on the train. When a passenger insults it, the decab kills him with laser eyes, causing panic until it silences everyone with a terrifying look. The decab announces the gods have judged humans as terrible beings and will punish them. Each human must face a stage where their fate is decided. Holograms explaining the first stage appear. Within 10 minutes, passengers must kill at least one living organism in their train car. Survivors earn 300 coins. Failure means death. The constellations will be watching. The train freezes on a bridge. Phones lose service. Panic sets in as people start fighting and forming gangs. A woman tries to escape but is trapped by a force field. Duja spots young Hook in the crowd and realizes the events of the novel are unfolding. They know the future. A giant river monster crashes the train, leaving passengers stuck on the ceiling. Remembering the rules, Duja grabs an ant farm from a kid named Gillong. He kills an ant, earning the coins and finally catching everyone's attention. But there aren't enough ants for all. Complaints arise. Duja takes the ant farm, drawing a crowd. He tackles a man beating an old lady and offers the man an ant, but the man refuses. Duja identifies him as Nam, a character from the novel who attacks him. Duja fights back using his video game-like stats, spending coins to increase strength and landing punches that send Nam flying. Nam activates a powerful Grim Dark Awakening skill and overpowers Duja. As a tube of eggs accidentally spills from a dropped ant farm, Duja destroys it and gains a huge coin bonus. He invests 3,000 coins each in stamina and agility, dodging Nam's attacks and knocking him down. Nam swears not to hurt the old lady and asks for an ant, but Duja refuses, saying he doesn't deserve the story. Duja shields the old lady from Nam's renewed attack by crushing an ant in her hand just seconds before the timer ends. The voice announces the stage is over. The losers receive fatal marks. Unfortunately, the last ant escapes and the lady dies. The decab congratulates the 17 survivors who pass and announces they will receive gifts from the constellations. Duja recalls these cosmic beings watch from space and take pleasure in human struggles. Each passenger must choose a sponsor constellation, but someday their debts must be repaid. Duja declines sponsoring for now. Suddenly, the train tips as a river monster drags it down. A former soldier named Yensong struggles to open the doors. Duja teaches him how to use special skills. Yensong activates super strength to pry the doors open. Everyone escapes except Gillong, crying over his ant farm. Duja rescues him. The voice announces the next stage. They must cross a broken bridge. A train car blocks the path and dead bodies chase the living. Duja and Yensong try to fight, but are overwhelmed until Sa activates a skill creating a temporary road. Survivors run across while Duja warns poisonous gas is coming. They must find shelter underground. In the subway, Duja recalls from the novel that Young Hook died here fighting a dragon. Young Hook uses sword and gun skills to defeat attackers. He confronts Duja over a character's premature death. Duja lies about having a prophecy skill. Young Hook demands tactical advice but drops Duja into the water. Duja is swallowed by a monster, entering its stomach. The decab narrates live, surprising Duja when he calls it Bong, revealing Bong to be a high-level decab who can ascend by streaming. Bong agrees to an exclusivity contract due to his popularity. The monster's stomach fills with acid. Duja learns to block hundreds of acid ducks with spikes bought from the decay shop, a lesson from the novel. His perseverance kills the beast, ending the stage. Duja extracts the monster's nucleus and trades it for a rare item, the Ether of Faith. Given a starter pack including a mask, Duja ventures out amid poisonous gas but collapses on shore. Overwhelmed by sponsorship offers, he silences notifications. Duja stops at a ruined store, finding 2 girls dead and 1 barely alive. As a monster breaks in, Duja rescues the survivor and races into the subway. There, thugs recognize the girl, Hyun, alive. Duja spends 1,500 coins to increase strength and defeats the gangs. Survivors led by Congressman Anho encourage hunting and coin sharing with residents. Gil Long gains insect befriending abilities. Duja wonders if his choices have altered the novel's story. Within 3 hours, a survival fee is due. Some residents hunt for money, others die. A crowd demands Duja share coins, but he refuses when Inho, a former villain who sold his humanity to the constellations, admits wanting help. The crowd riots. Duja agrees to finish the stage instead of giving money. He crafts weapons and enters tunnels where Hyun reveals the thugs killed others, faking monster kills. Dark tunnels fill with monsters, and a group fights fiercely but Saw is captured. The team finds Sona tied up in a shrine. They face a monstrous warden guarded by a force field. Yensong strikes but is repelled. An illusion prison traps Hyun with horrific memories, but Duja frees her. Een is caught next, reliving war trauma. Duja tries saving him but is blocked. Monsters summon minions. Duja calls Bong to open the shop, though funds fall short. Hyun delivers a big jump attack. Duja kills enough monsters to afford White Star pure energy, granting a critical hit to finish the horde. Freed from trauma, Yensong recalls his guilt over lost friends. The group opens treasure chests. Duja receives a broken sword called Broken Faith. If completed with an Ether of Faith, it can reach full power. Gil Long asks about fallen rocks that cause illusions if eaten. 1 monster remains in the station stage. The team rushes back. Hyun defeats the gang's leader with a new slicing skill from a constellation. Inho shows monstrous strength but is stopped when residents oppose killing, fearing harder future stages. Inho escapes but is killed by a sniper named G. G explains they've crossed into a new stage with 104 survivors fighting for 52 small green zones that offer safety. Tilda's gang controls a VIP area with coin-protected security. Duja tells teammates to split and find zones. G delivers Young Hook's message. Duja must survive alone for the night. Remembering a school friend's slap that ended bullying, Duja finds an unlit green zone. Bong announces some zones will vanish and new ones appear. The spot under Duja turns green, and fighting ensues. The 10-minute timer ends. Monsters attack those off zones. The team decides to help one fight monsters. The group splits, battling the horde to hold platforms. Duja's team manages, despite bloodshed. Young Hook waits by a portal protecting Gil Long. He offers to fight only if Duja abandons the kid. Duja refuses and leaves Gil Long with Young Hook while drawing monsters. After being tackled, Duja eats a glowing rock, entering an illusion prison where he relives fighting his best friend to end bullying. A fight he won, but that drove his friend to self-delete. He hates the novel's ending where Young Hook sacrifices others to survive. Young Hook enters the illusion, urging Duja to have fought bullies instead. Next morning, Duja wakes in a private room. His team protected him, but Yensong is wounded. Today Yensong must face a dragon, and die instead of Duja. The voice announces 57 survivors remain. Bihong warns the constellations are angry because survivors helped rather than fought. As punishment, only one green zone will appear. Whoever stands there when time runs out wins. Duja makes a plan, asking Ji for help, but she declines, haunted by a past kill. Jia leaves crying. Duja calls Bihong, who says the constellations shower him with coins. Duja recruits Pildu with all his coins and destroys the green zone using a glowing square, telling the crowd if they had united from the start, no one would have died. Pildu lets everyone into the VIP zone free and unleashes weaponry to fight monsters. Aided by Duja, Sa, and Win, suddenly, the ground cracks and a dragon appears, breathing deadly fire. Young Hook attacks with sword and gun, striking several blows. The constellations raise difficulty, shifting the station into outer space. The dragon's body becomes steel-like, something never in the novel. Young Hook tries stabbing it with his sword, which shatters, but he summons a new one. Despite this, the dragon stabs him. Duja uses a starter kit item that protects him from fire. Sona webs Young Hook to safety. A giant bug, controlled by Gillong, tackles the dragon but is overwhelmed. Yen refuses to lose another friend. His gauntlet turns into a shield while the ground rises as a barrier. Saw spins webs for Win, who jumps on the dragon's back and slashes it. Yen breaks through barriers, and Duja tries to stab the dragon, but it escapes upward. A flashback reveals the plan. Stabbing the dragon's core kills the attacker, but revives someone. SA webs and restrains the dragon. Duja leaps to stab its chest, but his sword cannot pierce. Gi shoots the dragon's chest, making a crack, but the dragon pushes Duja off. The wound closes, hope fades. Young Hook finishes off remaining monsters, fights the dragon again, and pierces its core. Both burst into flames, and Young Hook's skill sends him back. Everyone starts disappearing. Duja thinks it's over, but suddenly the author accepts his market trade, ascending the ether of faith. Duja instantly inserts it into his sword, completing it. Surrounded by friends distracting the dragon, Duja leaps and kills it finally. The voice announces the stage's end. Duja revives Young Hook with the reward. The station returns to normal. Young Hook is shocked Duja survived, thanks to the special sword. The crowd celebrates. Now Duja believes they can write a new ending, a story where no one survives alone.